Well, for Graham Evans, let me tell you, yesterday was a really tragic day because he's working out with the team. They're warming up, playing soccer of all things. He twists something, pulls something. He didn't break his leg, but that is of no consequence whatsoever. The man is on crutches, and he has missed his great day, and that shouldn't happen to a dog. We do really commiserate with him. Now, in that match, 13-3 to Hull was the final score, and since that match, both teams have prospered and indeed stayed separate in the Rugby League Challenge Cup. Now, in the semi-finals, Rovers easily disposed of Halifax, helped by a couple of tries from a man who's played for both sides, Clive Sullivan.
Bert Saglin, but Elkinston on the attack, giving half a domain, getting the pass into Clive Sullivan and a try, the first try of the match. Lockwood, Elkinston looking strong at this moment. There should be something from Phil Lowe giving it for the second try to Clive Sullivan, and that could be a real killer.
Well, it was, and a pretty easy win for Rovers. But Hull in their semi-final had a real struggle because they met Widnes, they're the cup holders, and of course a club with a great Wembley tradition here. They only clinched the match in the dying seconds of the game, and it took a great try to do it.
Vince Farrell, Wembley, the goal. And the two Hull clubs, one already there, Rovers. What's going to happen here? A good breakaway by Bray. He's turning inside, gets the ball, Hooker, Ronnie Wildman gets a goal, gets a try.
So both Hull clubs are here today, a quite remarkable thing to happen, and we reckon that about a third of the whole population of the city of Hull will be here at Wembley Stadium this afternoon, and I'm sure that most of the other two-thirds will be sitting at home watching Grandstand's cover of the match, which makes Eddie Waring, a couple of foreigners like us, very lucky to be here at all, doesn't it?
Oh, we're very lucky. It's going to be a great match, because it's called the imagination of this tie, for some reason or other. Such a lot of good players, you know. You talked about Clive Sullivan, MB, a marvellous winger.
400 tries he scored.
400 tries. And on the other side, Hull, we have Stevie Norton who's the captain. It's going to be a tremendously hard match. The first 20 minutes, I think, will be everybody on the...
Now, Rovers are marginally favourites to win, Eddie. Do you see it like that?
Well, you know my views about cup finals. That,
I know that I try every year.
I know you do.
And I've never
you
discovered
nearly got me doing it this one, but
what do you reckon?
No, I'll tell you after the match. It's going to be a tremendous match for a lot of reasons, particularly the crowd. Australia are taking it live, so you can see the interest.
Of course, the fact that both teams are from the same city has added an enormous spice to it, hasn't it?
Absolutely. You know, the different sides of the street now, but once they get in here, there'll be such a tremendous atmosphere.
Lovely.
We'll have to hold on to the seats.
Fine, well, thank you very much. How's the vocal cords, all right?
It'll be all right on the night.
You've polished them up, have you?
Yes.
I heard a bloke take you off last week. He was more like you than you are. Yes, he was terrific. Anyway, thank you very much indeed, and have a good game.
Let me know his address.
I will. The weather, by the way, is delightful. It's getting sunnier by the minute, and the expected temperature in London this afternoon is somewhere around 59 or 60 degrees. Well, at the moment, the supporters of both these teams, of course, are on their way to Wembley, and the exodus started at Hull railway station much earlier today, about 6:30 at dawn, and Richard Duckenfield was there to see them off.
The Legions of Humberside, easily the most partisan in the game of rugby league, raised their banners here at the Paragon station early this morning. It's been today's focal point for the great mass of humanity moving south. 10 special trains carrying 5,000 supporters, but that's really only just the tip of the iceberg. Thousands more supporters have invaded normal scheduled services for the past 3 days. Others have taken over local services at Doncaster to connect with other mainline trains. There'll be an estimated 50,000 Humberside folk at Wembley. There'll be many more if the tickets have been available. This, of course, an ancient city dating back to the 13th century. Lots of history and tradition. Today will be one of the most memorable of all.
2001.
It took more than 3 hours to fill the last of the Wembley specials. Supporters moving along the platforms in seemingly endless streams. And it all began last Thursday with early travellers bent on making it a holiday. Many won't be coming back until Tuesday. None of them doubted the importance of the occasion. Oh, look, I thought this was Wembley, not Ascot. What
I don't know, really, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, don't kid? There's only one day, and today's today, innit? You can have every other week. There we are.
What do you mean there's only one day?
Well, today, innit? Get rid of them red and white ones, don't we? I ain't got to swear.
What happens if you don't get rid of those red and white ones?
We'll get rid of them next year. You know what I mean?
Inevitably, the Wembley Day atmosphere rang round the station. The desire to be there is such that only the fortunate few will sample at first hand, a sporting event that will be talked about from generation to generation.
Is this your first trip to Wembley, girls?
Yeah.
You do? So what are you looking forward to?
The match. Rovers are going to win easy.
How long are you going to stay for?
A day, about 1 o'clock. Coming home, brothers and sisters.
You're going to be able to find your way home all right, are you?
Yeah.
Now look, there's a lady here. Where's the lady with the hairstyle? Come here, let's have a look. Now look, now you tell me about your hairstyle.
I had it done especially for today.
Now this is red and white for Kingston Rovers, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Now what happens if they lose though?
They won't lose. No chance. No chance.
But will it wash out if they do lose?
No.
You want it forever, don't you?
Keep it there and it'll grow out.
You're in the red and white.
How are you going to spend the weekend?
Well, we're going down to Wembley and we'll get plastered tonight. Rovers Supporters Club. Yeah. Supporters Club tomorrow after being in town to see the victorious Rovers.
I come home on Monday off the oil rigs, looking really forward to this match. And there's 40 or 50 ships laid off the oil rigs, flying black and white colours, and they all send their regards and wish Hull wins the cup. But whoever wins the cup, it's still coming to Hull, so.
Aren't there quite a lot of people going to lose some money in wages by going down?
Yeah, I guess there is. But I really want to see the black and white win it, but there you are, whoever wins it, let it be a good match.
There has, of course, been a great exodus on the roads out of Hull. Upwards of 20,000 people covering the 200 miles between Humberside's most famous landmark, the incomplete span of the Humber Bridge, and the Twin Towers of Wembley.
Proof that the rugby league folk of Humberside are the most devoted and dedicated in the land. And today, the capital of rugby league goes to the capital city. It should be quite a weekend.
At the end of the line, there'll be jubilation for some, dejection for others. But whatever the result, the city of Hull just can't lose.
Behind the peaceful facade of Hull lies the seething passion of the most divided city in Britain. Divided by blind loyalty to its 2 rugby league teams. All because the mean waters of the River Hull have perfectly split the city into an east and west side. Like warring medieval armies, the black and white encampment on the west supports Hull, while red and white on the east are for Rovers. Ironically, a colour clash in the final league fixture before Wembley meant Rovers appearing in neutral blue. But even that didn't diffuse the passions of supporters who wear their colours like medals and who are planning a Cup Day exodus from Yorkshire's most geographic limb, even in local taxis, booked at £60 a time for Wembley trips.
You're either Hull or you're Rovers, you know, there's no in between, I don't think.
I suppose you're at Rovers today. I suppose one assumes you support Rovers, is that true?
Actually, no, I support the others.
Do you?
Hull. I have 2 sons. The eldest one supports Rovers, the young one supports Hull with me.
I think if the crowd here got to know you were a Hull supporter, they'd probably eject you from the crowd.
They know. That's quite a lot, you know. I come here quite regularly. They know I support Hull, you know, at the tunnel there. And I get a bit of raw ball, but you have to take it.
What will it mean to Rovers supporters if they lose at Wembley against Hull?
I think personally it'll be a disaster.
Suicidal?
No. One of the biggest disappointments in my life if we lose at Wembley.
To be quite honest, I hope the Cup at least is going to be coming back to Hull, but Rovers are going to bring it back.
Why is there so much rivalry between the 2 sides?
I have no idea. I think it's something to do with the river. It's just this side of the river you're a Rovers supporter and yon side of the river you're an Hull supporter.
I think it's an athlete. It's a, let's say, the pinnacle of rugby league is Wembley.
That's a big
and I think
win,
it is a big win, I know. But I think Rovers and Hull there, it's going to be a great final. I don't think there'll be any. Usually in a derby game, you get a load of hard tackling and the old niggling punching and what have you. I think that'll be out of it. It's a showpiece of Wembley. The cream mother's going to be there, and I think both teams will put on a great match.
You didn't pick your husband because he was a Rovers supporter, did you?
No, I'm the Rovers supporter, not him.
He doesn't support
Oh, he does it. No, he's Rovers, but not as much as me.
You'd throw him out of the house if he supported Hull, wouldn't you?
It's all right, it's out the bed.
It's even as serious as that. The demolition of older houses around Hull's Boulevard ground has meant a dispersal of their supporters to other parts of the city. But these terraces still average a healthy 10,000 attendants at each game. It's a cruel test of a man's diplomacy to ask Hull's Deputy Lord Mayor which team he supports.
Well, I think the normal answer to questions of that kind is pass, isn't it? And one of the things about being either Lord Mayor or Deputy Lord Mayor in any city is that you're expected to be impartial, and that's what I'm going to be.
Why was this decision taken to hold a joint banquet? Because surely that's going to put real pressure on the losers to have to sit down and have dinner with the team that's beaten them at Wembley.
Well, I think it would be very wrong for us in the City Hall, having two teams playing at Wembley, not to invite representatives from both of them to a celebration afterwards, and I've every confidence that they'll mingle together in the utmost friendship on that occasion.
But it'll be a celebration for one and a wake for the other, won't it?
Well, if you like, but it's a great thing for the city, isn't it? And I think it'll work out very well indeed.
Have you any allegiance?
No. No, I'm Deputy Lord Mayor.
I should think it's more than your life's worth, isn't it, to say which team you support?
Yes, you're trying very hard, but I hope the best side wins.
The other big topic of conversation on Humberside, of course, is the bridge taking shape behind me, and very impressive it is too. But it's already several years behind schedule. They're not working at this moment because there's a strike, and many people feel that it's being built 20 years too late and is doomed to be something of a white elephant. That's been the subject of some heated debate here on Humberside, but it's a debate that isn't getting much of an airing at the moment, because everybody here wants to talk about the Rugby League final. One of few to associate with both clubs is painter Arthur Bunting, 20 years a player and coach with Rovers before becoming manager of Hull to face a cup final that must frighten him.
Well, no, not. I don't think so. I just feel that there is a loser, you know, on this occasion, but no, I don't think so. You know, going to Wembley, you've got to play someone there. It just adds a little bit more flavour to it, I think, being Rovers.
You've been associated with Rugby League here for a number of years. Perhaps you can put into words for us the real extent of the rivalry between the two teams.
It's amazing, really. I've known people not eat bacon because it's red and white.
Really?
Yeah, it's really the rivalry at its best, you know. There's no way people are coming down here and watch Rovers if Hull aren't playing, you know. They're either black and white or red and white, and you can't be in between.
There's absolutely no sort of sharing of interest in that respect?
No way. It's, you know, you're red and white or black and white, and that's it.
For either you or the opposition, then, what's it going to be like to lose at Wembley to your greatest rivals?
It'll be very bitter, actually, you know. I think a lot of kids will be upset. But I don't know. I think the occasion is the thing. And as long as everything goes off well, the supporters behave themselves, that's all we're looking for.
Fleets of 150 trawlers, which made Hull fish docks famous 10 years ago, have now dwindled to less than 2 dozen. And catches are actually brought in by a road to be gutted and cleaned by men with unshakable loyalties. Excuse me. Yes? I see you've got the black and white scarf on there.
Oh, yes. Can't go without this.
That presumably means you support Hull, does it?
Oh, yes. I'm an early bird.
An early bird?
That's the way.
Are you going to go to Wembley?
I shall be there, yes.
How do you feel about both Hull teams actually getting to the final? Do you think it's a good thing for rugby league?
Well, I think it's the finest thing that's ever happened for this town. It might put us on the map for a change. We'll get national recognition, and it might do us a little bit of good. Because we've had these kicks and sticks, thumps and bumps for the last 10 years.
What's the feeling like amongst the supporters?
Great, really good. Same with yours, lot, isn't it? Yeah. Too fanatical at times. Right there.
But what's it going to be like for the team that loses and the supporters that lose?
Well, very disappointed for both supporters, I think. Won't it?
Yeah, well, are you both going to Wembley?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They catch supporters young in Hull, like 3-year-old David Holstock with his dad Roy's Player of the Year trophy. And passions last from the cradle right through to the fierce battleground of the pubs.
Ladies and gentlemen, now be very quiet while I've talked to the gentleman over the bar about the Rugby League world. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for getting quiet for us. Tell us, first of all, what is this cup final doing to the city of Hull?
Well, I think it's putting Hull on the map, which is a very big thing, and we are a very, very strong... You man, Blade, the gentleman wants to talk to me. There's nothing like Wembley.
But why is there this feverish rivalry between the two sides?
It's been on this, I think, for an awful lot of years, and Hull's done very well this last 2 years, exceedingly well. But I think that we have an awful lot of good players today that makes all it. We means Hull Kingston Rovers. And we have an awful lot of lads who know what it's all about. And I think I'm more than confident. I think we can bring the cup back to Hull Kingston Rovers.
What's it going to be like in your pub as a director of Rovers if you lose at Wembley?
Well, that's left 2 Tommy guns mounted, that's all at the door. I think that's the best way out of it.
Some really wonderful characters from the city of Hull. Looking forward to their great day, which is, of course, has now arrived. And by the way, we'll tell you all about early birds and robins a little later on when we meet the teams. In fact, Tony Gubba so enjoyed his trip to Hull that he said he was coming here today, so we're going to send him down into the dressing rooms to talk to the players, and he'll be down there at about 2:05.
Below the terraces at Wembley, where the gladiators of Hull Kingston Rovers are now getting changed, ready for the combat that lies ahead. And we're going to walk inside the dressing room now, meet some of their players. Starting first of all with this giant of a man standing here, who's Phil Lowe. Phil, I'm sure the Rovers players are delighted that you're able to play this afternoon, because you had a bad injury about 2 weeks ago, didn't you?
Yes, I partially sprung my shoulder, and it tended to make life a little bit difficult for a few days.
How close a decision was it whether you'd play or not?
Well, I knew on Thursday morning that I would play. I trained on the Wednesday night and it was a little bit sore, but the doctor said that it was just a reaction from travelling a long way and then training hard on Wednesday evening. Thursday morning it was fine, so
you're fully fit. I know some of the boys over in the Hull dressing room over there say you can't recover from a sprung shoulder in 2 weeks, and they think you're not fully fit.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, eh?
They'll find out there, will they?
Certainly will.
I know you've got a pub back on Humberside. Is it free drinks there tonight?
Listen, if we win, the people that are in there, Mother will be watching, I'll tell you. We can give everybody a drink if we win this today.
A few songs and a few pints.
Oh,
Can I just call Roger Millward over? Where's Roger? Can you come over, Roger? Phil, don't go too far away. I just want to stand Roger Millward and Phil Lowe alongside each other there, if we could. Just shoulder to shoulder.
I've got my shoes on.
Now, how's that? Now, no offence, Roger. But when you get tattled in a rugby league match by players the size of a Phil Lowe, I mean, does it hurt?
It just depends how they tackle you. Not usually. I'm usually too little for them to hurt. So keep out of the way a lot.
What, you go underneath the tattles, do you?
Yes, I try to do anyway.
What height are you?
5'4".
And how much do you weigh?
10 stone 8.
And Phil, what are you?
6'2", about 16'4".
16'4". Now, you've been playing professional rugby league for, what, 17 years?
Yeah.
No offence, you're now, what, 33? Presumably the tackles get a...
32, John.
32, I'm sorry about that.
Tell us lies as well.
Presumably the tackles get a bit harder, do they?
Yeah, and I think it's just getting over the injuries. That's the main thing. You know, the soreness used to come out on the night after the match, and now it comes out 2 days later.
Because the important thing to ask you is, although you've done so much in rugby league, Great Britain, England, you've played in Australia, you've never actually played in a Challenge Cup final at Wembley, have you?
No, I haven't, and by the reception we just had when we just gone for a walk around, I think it's going to be a marvellous day for me.
You're looking forward to it?
I really am, yes.
You're going to win?
Yes.
All right, thanks very much. Come have a chat with Len Casey. Now, where's Len? He's on the...
In that little room.
Oh, he's gone to the loo, has he? All right, well, we'll forget about him. Where's Clive Sullivan? Clive, let's wander in. Clive. Right. Clive, you're one of few men who's actually played for both Hull and Rovers. Does that put pressure on you?
No, not really. I'm playing for Hull Kingston Rovers today, and that's the main thing.
Now, you've scored, what, over 400 tries in your career?
I think it's about 400, but I'd like to make it about 403 today.
You're looking for 3 tries, are you?
I wouldn't mind, yeah, that's right.
That'd be nice if you could do it.
Yeah, that's too true.
But how many of those tries have actually been scored for the opponents today?
Around about 240, something like this. I'm not quite sure, but it's 240 or something like this.
Now, I know you've all just been out onto the pitch and you've had a look. What do you think?
I think it's tremendous atmosphere out there. It made me a little bit nervous, you know, but not too bad, really.
Just tell me something about the pressures you get being a player who's played for both sides, living on Humberside. I know you get people outside your house at
well,
night, don't
you? You get this, but unfortunately, you know, it's usually the element in rugby league that we don't really need. But you get it, and other players get it as well. But we've learned to live with it. We've got to live with it anyway. We've no choice.
Sure. And who's that sitting down behind? That's Roy Holstock, is it?
That's Roy Holstock.
Let's go and have a chat with Roy, because he's the Player of the Year for Rovers. We had the pleasure of seeing you get that award against St Helens a couple of weeks ago, Roy. How do you feel?
Nice. Well, I feel calm. I feel lovely. Great. The crowd looks really tremendous out there. I'm really looking forward to it.
Because you've not played in the Challenge Cup final before, have you?
Never. No, I like Clark, you know, he's throughout his career, you know, this is icing on the cake for him, you know. Whereas me, I'm, you know, a lot younger than Clark, you know, have another chance. I hope so, anyway.
And as Player of the Year for Rovers, it'd be nice to crown it with
oh, that'd be great.
A winner's medal.
Yeah, it's been a great year for me, you know, with international, you know, status and that. It's been really good. Enjoyed it.
All right, all the best. Thanks very much. All the best to all of you, and I hope you enjoy the afternoon. Thanks for.
Well, that, I'm sure, Tony, is a sentiment that is shared by all the Hull Kingston Rovers supporters in the stadium outside. And before we go into the Hull dressing room, just let me help you to distinguish between the two sides. Hull Kingston Rovers are captained by Roger Millward. They're called the Robins because of a broad red band around their chest. So on the pitch they're easily distinguishable, hence the red and white favours of the Hull Kingston Rovers supporters. Now at the other end of the ground, the Hull supporters, they're wearing black and white favours of the Airlie Birds of Hull. That's because the ground is in Airlie Road. And the Hull players, captained by Steve Norton, wear shirts with both broad and narrow black bands across the body of the shirt and across the sleeves as well. Often called the Boulevarders after the name of their ground. They are, of course, in the opposite end of the tunnel down there in the dressing rooms. And Tony Gubber, I hope, has now crossed the Great Divide.
Indeed, Frank, we've crossed the Great Divide now to the South dressing room, which is where the Hull players are getting ready for the final, and we'll move inside and talk to some of their personalities. And I suppose we really ought to start by talking to their manager, Arthur Bunting. Now, Arthur, the last time you were here at Wembley was as a player with Rovers on the other side in 1964, when in fact you lost. Which dressing room were you in on that occasion?
Don't mention nothing here.
Which dressing room were you in on that occasion?
In this one.
That's not an omen, I hope, is it?
I don't think so. Well, I hope not anyway.
Now, Hull have been at the Wembley final twice, 59 and 60, and they lost quite heavily on both occasions. Are you haunted at all by the memory of those defeats?
No, not really. It's what you do on the day. They obviously didn't do it on that day. We intend to do it today. There's no thought of it. I mean, the players who were playing here don't even know the players who played in that time.
59-60.
Anyway. No,
and of course, you've beaten Rovers in the BBC Floodlit Trophy final, didn't you?
Well, that's right. We know we can beat Rovers. We've played them. While I've been there, we've played them about 6 times, and they've only beat us once, drawn with us once. So I think we must have the edge.
I know your preparation's very thorough, and in fact, you came here yesterday and weren't supposed to train on the pitch. But tell us what happened.
Well, we didn't actually train, but we sort of...
But one or two of the players had their boots in their pockets, didn't they?
Well, Sammy came and had a few kicks at goal, and we had a few drops at goal, and Paul Woods put a few kicks into touch. I didn't realise we hadn't to do that. And
not even when the little groundsman came out and said, come off the pitch?
Well, I told them not to, but they all walked to the far end and run down the field with the ball, and I couldn't stop them doing it. I just grabbed hold of one of them and stopped him, but I couldn't get hold of them all.
So you're one up on Rovers already. You've actually had the chance to run out there with the ball and know what it's like.
Well, you get the feel of it, don't you, Tommy?
Sure. The man who that, of course, is most important to, we can just move across, Arthur, is Jeff Sammy Lowe here, the goal kicker extraordinary, whose goals took Hull into this final. How did you feel when you came out here yesterday and had the chance to take a couple of kicks?
Oh, absolutely marvellous. Very, very privileged to be allowed to go and have a walk out on the hallowed ground here at Wembley. Absolutely marvellous.
What were you wearing yesterday? I know you'd stuck your match boots in your pocket, but you had a pair of jeans and a sweater on.
I had a pair of cords on, very, very tight, yeah.
How many kicks did you take?
2 or 3, and most of them were unsuccessful.
But maybe you've got those out of your system now, so the ones that we'll see in the match this afternoon...
I really hope I have. It's a nasty swirling wind out there at Wembley. It surprised me.
That surprised you yesterday, did it? One would think with the ground being completely enclosed that it would be absolutely still.
Completely enclosed, I did actually think that it would be quite still in there, but it's a nasty swirling wind.
So that's an advantage. You know there's a bit of a wind out there, so you can compensate for that when you make some kicks this afternoon.
Yeah, I just hope that I do better than I did yesterday with my cords on, yeah.
All right, thanks very much. Okay. If we swing around now, over here, we find one of the many former Welsh Rugby Union players who plays now for Hull, Paul Woods, full-back.
Yes.
You've been out and had a look at the pitch and seen the crowd. How do you feel?
Bit nervous,
Ignore them in the back.
Oh, well.
Are you going to be nervous, do you think?
No, once the games get started and get a tackle in, I should be all right, or get a run in. It should be all right then.
I think we should underline with you, of course, is that you got the Man of the Match award, didn't you, in the BBC Floodlit Trophy final?
Yes. I'll settle for a win today, just a win. Somebody else could have the Man of the Match.
You don't want the Man of the Match trophy as well?
No, just a win, that'll do me.
I was in South Wales a couple of days ago, and I must admit I was frankly quite amazed at the number of people who said they were coming from Wales in coaches to the Rugby League final.
Yeah, I think they make it a weekend out. I think you always get a good following up from Wales, like, you know. There's a lot of ex-Rugby Union players playing as well.
I suppose we ought to ask you, what's the big difference between Union and League?
Probably get killed for this.
Go on.
It's a lot faster and harder, I find it so anyway, you know, but I enjoy it. I prefer Rugby League, to be truthful.
Now you've made the switch. Who did you play for as a Union player?
Last off Pontypool, before that Tredegar.
Oh, so you played at the top level?
Yes.
Super. All the very best. Thanks very much. One more chap I want to have a chat with down here. This is perhaps the unluckiest man at Wembley today. This is Graham Evans, who would have been a sub if things had gone well. But what happened on Thursday?
Just a slight accident in training, really. I've torn a muscle in the back of my leg, and that ruled me out of it. So, but you fortunate.
But in fact, we ought to make it very clear. What, in fact, were you doing on Thursday? I'm told it was playing football.
Playing football, yes. My favourite game.
So
go on. It's my favourite game, so there anyway. It's just one of those things. Can't cry about it. We'll just go out and these lads will win it for me. I have every confidence in them.
Dear, dear. 48 hours before the Wembley final. Could have been the sub here today. A game of football. And what is the injury?
I don't know exactly. They put a pot on it. I've torn muscle in back of my leg. They don't really know. It's just to rest it. So we're hoping for the best now. Just get over it and get playing again.
Oh, well, commiserations, and I'm sure you'll feel all right so long as Hull win the trophy.
That'll do.
Thanks very much indeed, Graham. Well, that's the scene here, Frank. Back to you.
Well, poor Graham Evans, that really shouldn't happen to anybody, should it? I thought one or two of them were a little bit tense and quiet down there, but they won't have long to wait. The match kicks off at 3 o'clock, and in fact, we'll concentrate on the Rugby League Cup final at 2. Beautiful rendering of the old faithful hymn Abide With Me, and Windsor Davis and Melvin Hayes calling them on. The red and white of Hull KR, of course, and the black and white of Hull. That's how you sort out the teams this afternoon. Well, they'll get a big clap as they go off. Conductors leave the scene of their triumphs, and we of course moving ever closer to the nub of the afternoon. The teams will soon be out, the anthems played, and both teams today to be presented to the guest of honour here this afternoon at Wembley, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Well, the Welsh band is supplemented by more bandsmen coming on to provide the volume. And as we now get close to the arrival of the teams, let me hand you over today and wish him well. Delighted to be with him. He's sitting alongside me, Eddie Waring.
Thank you, Frank. What a great occasion. And so far, everything's been very sporting, and a royal guest, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Charming, look, all ready to come on, and she'll get a tremendous welcome from the whole port. The crowd, very, very good form, and the both ends, it's the ships coming into the port of Hull, sailing ships of days gone by, and they've been flowing in this wonderful Wembley setting, and the city of Kingston upon Hull, and Hull Football Club from the west side. They're in the south number 2 dressing room, and Hull Kingston Rovers from the east side of the city and number one, the dressing room. Well, at this moment, of course, there's tremendous tension. The players are just wondering what's going to happen as they come out. And Charlie kills 13 robbers with one stone. Well, that's a play on names. And this is the 79 final. And receipts today close on £500,000. The 45 at Wembley, and in this year 1980, that is the 79th final for this Challenge Cup, bought in those pioneering days, worth about what in those days I suppose worth about £50 solid silver, and a list of great winners. And here comes the mascot, and on the right, Charlie Watson. And there are the wonderful sight, what I call the sailing ships. And at the other end, it's all white. Bill Land, and this is the moment they all look up at their friends and relatives and get in the breath in. Little Roger Millward, known as Roger the Dodger, even he is showing signs of tenseness, and there on the other side is the captain, Stevie Norton. He's very hard on the coach there on close side, Paul Woods. Walters, and I guess still looking up at the stand where Lloyd waving to the towers above this great stadium, which has seen many great Rugby League Cup finals, and I reckon this should be one to surpass just about every other. I've got Alex Murphy with me. Just first shot, who's going to win?
Well, it's going to be a very, very interesting game, this, Eddie. I'm just looking down at Hull Kingston, and they look very, very relaxed, waving to the wives, and the old supporters now giving the whole team a little bit of encouragement.
Well, most wins for this Challenge Cup. Leeds with 10, the most finals, Wigan 15, and the winners get £12,555, the runners up 6,000, and the players will be on about £1,000. The whole KR team, Mr. Blandy, chairman, a very good opening of a colourful scene, but these are the cheers coming up as Majesty Queen Elizabeth comes to be presented. And there on Her Majesty's left is Lord Derby, Rugby League officials. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen, the Mother, being presented first to the Hull Kingston Rovers side and Roger Millward. David Hall and Steve Hubbard. Looks marvellous, and chatting to almost all the players. Mike Smith, Steve Hartley, and Clive Sullivan. Probably knows of Clive Sullivan, and certainly near to the end of his career. Alan Agar, one of our favourites, and he's having to work too. That's Alan. The forwards, Roy Holstock, Sumner Baxendale, champion of the Rugby League, just behind Lord Derby, David Watkinson, Brian Lockwood. A lot of people in Australia have sent messages to various players who are well known out there. Phil Lowe, one of them, of course, he was at Manly, and Paul Rose. He had lots of friends in Dapto, and if the Australians had taken this match, there would be great interest. Ernie Christensen, the newspaper man, is over. Glenn Casey, Phil Hogan, and I believe she's spoken to all of the players on the Kingston side. John Millington seems to be very knowledgeable. They look marvellous. So waiting, almost in the wings, as it were. Well, this is the chairman, Mr. Charlie Watson, and the coach, Arthur Bunting, who remembers coming here before. Well, he remembers coming onto the field, but he doesn't remember much that happened after, but he will know all about it today. Very astute. And quite a few smiles around. Brian Hancock, the sub. Sammy Lloyd, remember those magnificent goals in the semi-final that set this final alight in the all-Hull clash. Sammy Lloyd. The forwards are Keith Tyndall, Ron Wildman, Charlie Stone and Charlie Birdsall, along with Lloyd and Norton. There's Tyndall, whose mother has flown from, I think it's Sydney, Australia. Clive Pickerel, one of the youngsters. John Newlove. Paul Prendeville. Tim Wilby, with Leeds for a spell. Graham Walters and Graham Bray, the two Grahams, and Paul Wood. Controversial figure, very good footballer, 7 tries, 11 goals, and referee, Mr. G.F. Lindop, and little master. What a great moment for this little lad. He ain't got a number on, but he's got the colours of Hull with him. Irregular hoops. Lord Derby, and that's great picture. And I feel all the test judges, Mr. Regan and Mr. Tomlinson, and the referee, of course, George Lindop there he is. Yeah, Lindop must feel what a wonderful moment this is as we go on the kick-off time. And the Guards band. Well, that was a piece of rugby league history just being seen, and the crowd right to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, with all the joy, and I hope she has a match to enjoy herself. This is when, of course, they start to peel off. Kingston Rovers badge. And the team for Hull Kingston Rovers: David Hall, Hubbard, 29 tries, Smith, 9 tries, and Hartley, 12 tries, and Clive Sullivan, 17 tries. From Cardiff, a lot of Welsh people here today. Half-backs: Roger the Dodger Millward, number 6. Agar, very good, versatile footballer. In the forwards, Holstock, 4 tries. Watkinson, number 9. Brian Lockwood, well experienced. Rose and Casey loose forward with Hogan and Millington, the subs. And Roger Millward tuning up. His great moment of his career, if he was to win today, he's been such a stalwart to the game, and ever since he was a little lad, like the boys who played before. And number 11, Phil Lowe, who there's some doubt whether he would be fit to play, but he's all right, or he looks all right anyway. Big Phil Lowe. Roy Holstock. Clive Sullivan. Cardiff Rugby Union. Talking about retiring, but then he says, I'll never retire, well, I can score tries. And this is Hull Rugby Football Club. Paul Woods, fullback. Bray, 8 tries. Graham Walters, Wilby, and Prenderville. Halfbacks, Newlove and Pickerill. And forwards, Tyndall, Wildman, Stone, Birdsall, Lloyd, and Stevie Norton, with Brian Hancock and Vince Farrer, the subs. Brian Hancock is the sub with Graham Evans. Hurt his leg yesterday. In fact, he was playing soccer, of all things, and so he's off the sheet. Paul Woods from Tredegar Rugby Union, one of the big finds in rugby league football. Goals and 7 tries. Stevie Norton, he's the man who might just turn things the way that they want to go. Experienced man indeed, and fairly phlegmatic. And Vince Farrer, who wants his greetings to go to Cronulla. That is Sammy Lloyd, 52 goals, over 1,000 points in the first division. A good footballer, capable of winning the match at the semi-final, which was on grandstand. He kicked goals, and that was it. And they're here at Wembley. Last season, Hull Kingston were first division champions, and Hull led the second division all the season, winning all their 26 matches. This season, Hull have finished 3rd in the first division and Hull Kingston 7th. And they have met 3 times this season. Hull 20, Hull KR 20, Hull Kingston Rovers 29, Hull 14 and Hull 13, Hull KR 3, which shows how close things are. T.F. Lindup, who does quite a lot of work in schoolboy rugby. Roger Millward. New Zealand and Australia, who are taking this match, hope that they get a lot of pleasure out of it. Certainly there are a lot of people here who have asked to get mentions. One man, 86 years of age, wrote me to say that it was going to be a great moment. So, they got it, away we go, 40 minutes. Taken by Paul Woods. Keith Tyndall. The first 5 or 10 minutes, I reckon, will be just measuring each other up. Lloyd, Norton. By Pickerel. And Hull Rovers, the Robins, in possession. Roy Holster. They'll be testing each other for size. Nobody wants to make any mistakes at this stage. Brian Lockwood, late at Balmain, an Australian club. I think they play Cogra Oval. Hildo, he's going to be the danger man. He sends his greetings to North Shore, Sydney. Ray Hostock. Kingston Rovers have got the wind. Alex?
Well, I think you'll find out for the first 10 minutes each side will just feel each other out. There's a very strong wind coming down the breeze, and I wouldn't be surprised if Roger didn't keep pinning Hull back in their own half.
Well, I would think that'll be his tactics, and then probably start the drop goal kicking effort and a penalty. Agar to his co-partner at half-back. Roger, Len Casey. Lockwood. Ball lost. Taken by Graham Bray. 8 tries. Sun gone in, but no signs of rain. Packed stadium. All the tickets were sold this morning. Just a few left and they've all gone. Keith Tyndall, 95,000 fans. Through to Patton, another back kick. Davey Norton ran away from the touchline, which looks as if he was going, but no doubt wanting to contain Hull Kingston Rovers in their own 25-yard line area, but they've already gone through that. Steve Hubbard came from Hull and he's striding. Len Casey. Good progress by the Rovers. Hull Kingston. Forward. Well, Paul Rose, who's also, I'm nearly saying, from Australia, but of course he played there only. Now that's a good front three, Wollstock, Watkinson and Lockwood. Agar to feed and putting the ball in his own forward feed. Pickerel quickly gets at it before some of the forwards have time to get up. So, and they're going to get him into touch if they can. They don't. Polish down, 25-yard line. Oh, a rather wild pass. And it didn't reach its target. In fact, there was a knock-on by Tim Wilby. It was a little bit dicey, was that? So early in the game, a little wild pass, Alec?
Well, they tend to use Sammy Lloyd wide out, and I think there was a little mistake between two then. He wanted the ball. But I've just been looking at Len Casey, and he seems to me as though he's carrying his leg a little bit. He has had trouble with groin injury, and I hope he's not got it now.
Right. On the road to Wembley, Hull have beaten Bradford, Northern and Widnes, who finished first and second in the first division. Is a break coming here? Good break. Steve Hartley. Oh, rolled him up in the grass. Dan Walters tackling. The greying hair of Mickey Tyndall stood out there to get the ball. Well, we've got two possible breakthroughs, which augurs well for the movement of the ball. Only about a couple of kicks so far. Steve Dorton, halfway line. There's an overlap. Clive Sullivan went in, but he got knocked back by Graham Walters. That's unusual. John Newlove played with Featherstone at Wembley. He's going to run over the forwards. I mentioned Tredegar, Rugby Union. Fowler nil, Hull Kingston Rovers nil. Here are some of the favourite songs and arias which the football fans from the city of Hull render whenever possible. Make a lot of mistakes. David Watkins and Lee Hooker got a Hull KR. Paul Rose. It was nearly through, near the break coming too low. When he gets in his stride, it takes a lot of stopping. Roaching into the opposition. Sammy Lloyd. 8 minutes gone, no score. No obvious signs of pattern yet.
There's no pattern at all. Roger standing very wide and Hull coming round to try cut the supply of blood off to the brain. They know Roger's the danger man and they see what they're doing.
A good break with a chance for Steve Hubbard. Is he going to score? He's over, it's a try, the first try for Steve Hubbard, 3 points to nil. Well, it was been opening up, but here it comes.
Well, this is a wonderful ball of Steve Hubbard from Brian Lockwood, and doesn't he go well? There's no way this lad's going to stop. And right over 3 points. What a brilliant start.
Well, it was certainly an amazing try that it came almost from nothing. Well, this was from behind the post, and he went wide at this moment, did Hubbard, and then he straightened up a little. He saw there were two converging on him from the left, and by the time the third man came up, he was over, and the joy of delight was shown as the arms and hands went soaring into the sky. And Hull, Steve Hubbard, and Hull nil, Hull Kingston Rovers 3. Well, they're very delighted, the subs.
That try, Eddie, takes Stevie Hubbard joint try scorer in the Rugby League, and it could be a nice start if he can just put this one in the middle as well.
Yes, Ali, that could remind the 30th try, and is none more important than that one. And Steve Hubbard to kick, 136 goals, and 30 tries so far. Some joy on that, but it's 3 points to nil.
it looks as though he's going to give a penalty kick here because Paul Woods tackled him over the line.
Well, it's a penalty for committing an offence.
It was just an offence when Stevie Ovett went over the line, and Paul Woods committed an offence after the ball had been placed over the line.
Right, and so is a second chance to get the goal. 3 points to nil, and almost a hushed crowd wondering what it was all about. But this is one of the new rules. Should be one now, and it is 2 points to nil. Well, the flags of the Robins are now taken on a different colour. 5-0, taking the lead in this State Express Challenge Cup final. And we've got Hull Kingston Rovers 3-0 on the big board, but it's 5 points to nil. Tommy Lloyd, over 1,000 points, First Division. Not the greatest of kicks for him. Huppett's try there has been scored in each round, and he's got 45 out of Hull Kingston Rovers, 91 points in the penalty.
That was a very good decision of Fred Lindop, because Ronnie Wildman was stood in an offside position, and not many referees would have given that.
David Hall, 5 tries. Penalties 42 for Hull Kingston Rovers. In the deserted city of Hull, at this moment, there will be great joy in the Rovers camp, but it's a long way to go. Hull 0, Hull Kingston Rovers 5. Roy Holstock. Brian Lockwood taking the first man from Alan Ager, and he goes the other way with a little bit of subtlety about it. And Roger Millward is out, and the referee is bringing Ron Wildman on to give him a real talking to. Roger Millward on the floor and talking to Ron, and he really means what he's saying too.
I think he's very, very lucky to stay on the field, really, because it was a very late tackle, and obviously they've been told to mark Roger, but I don't think they should mark him that like that.
Well, let's have a look at that, because it's going to be a controversial discussion on this. Now, well, yes, it was down, but the referee was on the job anyway, and he quickly went in to give a penalty.
I'm just looking down at the play, Eddie, and that's the first time Roger's touched the ball. And if he has many more tackles like that, he'll not want much more ball.
Yeah, well, this season he's been injured. He had a fractured jaw early on, and a little fellow, he gets a lot of punishment. He can take it. Well, let's have a look at the incident which got the penalty. Now he goes away and scores this try, good try, and this was the incident there. There he is, which was injured and resulted in the penalty to make it 5 points to nil. And Roger Millward looks very dazed, and his mate at half back has looked at him with a little distress at Alan Agar. He had his jaw broken twice in the last year, and he looks very dazed there, Alex.
He's caught him right on the jaw, and he's drawn a little bit of blood. But I think Roger will just take a 5-minute break, and he'll be back to normal.
Yes, for a little fellow, he's quite good for standing a lot of hard tackles. We expect a hard match as a cup final, and the referee is getting very quickly onto the job. Charlie Stone there, and there's Millward. 15 minutes gone. Roy Holstock. Let's have a look at this one, because everything's happening at this moment. The referee is right in there quickly. And he goes down, Roy Holstock. So it's all happening. One expected to be a hard start. Roger Millward still walking around. Do you sense anything more than just a little daze?
Well, I think he may have a little bit of concussion as well, and I think Hull at the moment are just losing the cool a little bit, and that was a very silly penalty from Charlie Stone. He just came round the back. It was a late tackle, and this could cost him the game, because this is a very easy goal for Phil Hubbard.
Well, it's easy within his kicking distance. Steve Hubbard is the leading goal kicker in the First Division, and there's Roger Millward being looked at to see, I don't know whether his teeth or whether they feel that they would
I think he's just saying count him.
Steve Hubbard, and it bags it up. 7 points to 0, and Alex says that might be a rather vital 2 points in this match. Hull Kingston Rovers going into a lead of 7-0. Hubbard try, Hubbard goal, Hubbard goal. And I would imagine the tempo might just lessen a little bit after those 1 or 2. As soon as I say that, the touches come in. Mr. Tomlinson to report something. Charlie Birdsell. And Lindop is saying what he thinks, and the test judge there, Mr. Tomlinson, and Charlie Birdsell. Don't agree with that at all.
They're very silly penalties these. If you realise that Roger Millward and they're just putting the ball way down the field, they're ridiculous penalties.
Well, they can't afford to do it much more. In fact, it might have reached the point of no return, but it certainly hasn't at 7-0. But it's 72 penalties that's been taking the sting now out of Hull. Coming off the short pass, this time goes on his own, David Watkinson. Ball loose. High step, Brian Lockwood. And a penalty. And those are sarcastic cheers. I don't think they're anything but that, because Brian Lockwood knows the game, backwards and forwards, and their subs were saying what they thought about it. Good burst. Tim will be halfway line. And there's a Hull player on the ground now. Keith Tyndall. Halfway line. It's unusual. The ground didn't seem at all slippery when we walked on it before the match started, of course, and it might be the heavy boots or something. The ball. Charlie Birdsell, halfway line. I'm seeing much of John Newlove. Lost possession, Watkinson. 7 points to 0 for Hull Kingston Rovers. On the right, Roy Holstock. Low. 20 minutes will shortly be here to, there it is, Hull 0, Hull Kingston Rovers 7. Now, and a nice grubber. I'm not going to run. in touch. He's got to go, and he's gone across the field. Graham Bray. And Clive Sullivan taking the dummy half position.
I think if you look down on the field, Rodgers really struggling with this now. It wouldn't surprise me if he hadn't broke his jaw again.
Well, he certainly just... He's doing a roving job, really. He's on the halfway line now, a sort of a semi-defensive back. It's Tyndall. Clive Pickerill. Steve Norton. This is the boy that might make the break forward. Nicely taken, nicely given, and nicely received. Bray. Roger Millward, and the call in across to the bench for some attention. Stevie Hartley, and it seems to be very dazed.
This could be a terrible blow for Hull Kingston. He doesn't seem to know where he is. It's definitely a bad knock round the mouth.
It'll take a little time for him to come out of this, I would imagine. But they're stopping in the position of stand-off. Hull, ball. Sammy Lloyd. And the Hull fans now wanted something to cheer about. They're down some points to nil. Interception by Steve Hartley. The referee did well to get up to that, and there was a bit of a cry for a bad tackle, but it wasn't so. Goal lost. Another try at this moment would be rather disastrous almost for...
Well, it would be a killer blow for Hull, but I think that Hull have got to settle down and play the basics, play the 6 tackles, because I don't think this game's over yet by a long way.
No, I'm sure it isn't. And there's a lot of experienced players in that pack. Lots of experience. And Alan Agar is taking the role of dummy half. Brian Lockwood. And we've been playing just over 20 minutes. Not only grasping at the football, which doesn't seem to be holding as well as one would expect.
Well, I've watched Phil Lowe 3 times, and 3 times he's lost the ball and threw the ball on the floor. Both sides are not playing the basics and not holding the ball at all.
Roger Millward still in the stand-up half position, although they're keeping the ball away from him, I think. Seems to be really not any easier now, does Millward? I just watched him go into the supporting role then. Halfway line. Norton. Walters. I would think the nerve now must have gone. Handling not quite as good as one might expect. They got a roll to Wembley. Hull beat Millom 33-10, beat York 18-6, beat Bradford 3-0, and Widnes 10-5. Lloyd against the wind. Be a tremendous goal if he kicks it.
Well, this is what you call a morale booster, because if he kicks this against the wind, this will give him the boost he needs.
Sammy Lloyd, the Rovers fans at the end where he's kicking to, whistling. He scored in each round, a total of 30 points out of the whole 64. Did take a long run. the dead ball line. 7 points to nil, it still is. 15 minutes to half-time, LKR 7, Hull 0. And there'll be some searching around the dressing room at half-time, with Hull at this stage, oh, too many nearly. Paul Woods, and a penalty. One or two players there pointing what to do. So Norton comes up and takes hold of the situation, tells him what to do, and away they go. Paul Wood. Twediga, rugby union, a lot of Welsh rugby union players now in rugby league football. And a great lot of supporters from this city. Well, Keith Tyndall. Try and a goal here would change the complex. Oh dear, really met the brick wall there, Jarton Newload. Going the short side to Norton. Good pass. The best and nearest chance that Hull have had in this attacking position, working a set piece. Charlie Birdsell and 6 tackle. Do you see signs of Hull coming back?
Well, I think Hull have realised the urgency of this game now. They're not out of it by a long way, but Hull Kingston are just leaving 1 or 2 little gaps and not moving up as quickly as what it was, and Hull realise now that they can come back to this game.
Calling ball out, got on the short side, it should be something come here. Should be in it for a try, Tim Wilby, and the referee points to it. The movement was set up, and they went the short side through the remnants of a cover defence, and Wilby got the try, 7 points to 3.
Well, this is a tremendous scrum. John Hewlett round the blind side, drove the man, and Jim Wimbley does well here. He gets 2 men on top of him and puts it down. This was a very, very good try.
It was indeed, because Khalil had gone on his back and missed it.
2 men on top of him, and he did well to pull it down, but what a time to score.
Gone in the first half, and this opens this cup final really into a different situation. It's 7-3, and particularly so if it kicks it. Just 1 try each now, and of course the goals by Hubbard making the difference. 2 goals. Lloyd. There's a sort of a hook shot round the corner, and the wind goes out. So Samuel Lloyd, he was out a larger part of last season through an injury, but he scored in each round last season. He got 373 points. He's always a prolific point getter. Well, the Hull fans full of hope. They're a very loyal following. To score 7-3, and off he goes again. And I think if it goes over and again, that they'll have somebody up to hold it, because the ground's not that hard. Well, the 2 points here would be very useful, over 1,000 points in First Division, and now it's becoming a little the referee's standing behind. I don't know whether he'll give him any more or say, well, come on, get somebody to hold it. Should be all right now. It looks good. Doesn't take a long one. And the whistling start, 7 points to 3 for Hull Kingston. goes, round the corner. No goal. No goal. 7 points to 3 after all that. But we mustn't minimise the try by Tim Wilby. And 30 minutes gone. Hull 3, Elkingston 7. Well, it looks as if Rodgers getting a little bit more like himself. Left leg. Offside. Being told what to do, but they're not going to do it, so it's penalty. Woods. Time for position, and possession. Missed it. Well, handed off. Watkinson. Well, the flags. Let's see what's going to happen first. Referee talking to Sammy Lloyd. And it's Paul Rose. We're just looking at the flags. The wind is quite strong, but they're just turning a little different now. I wonder if they're going to change.
The wind is swirling about a bit, but watching that last tackle, I think there's a little bit of the old soldier coming then from Phil Lowe.
Well, a lot of experience, so, and I wouldn't say that you were ever left in the lurch on the old soldier or anything like that in your great halcyon days.
You've got to learn these games, learn.
Halfway line. Problem in getting the ball back into play. Halfway line, Watkinson, and there the stretch out already. It's like some little distance runner setting off. Halfway line. 7 points to 3. David Watkinson and dummy half most of the time now. Alan Agar. Oh, nice move, Paul Rose, but well held by the black and white for Hull. And penalty. Just a little bit of needle coming in, but it's Glenn Casey concerning it, but the referee well on the job, experienced player, experienced referee. Oh, that was a nice little smile at him. Whether he really meant it, I don't know. Hull 3, Elkingston Rovers 7. And the game has gone in the last quarter of an hour fairly into pattern, isn't it? Settling down again.
Well, it's gone a little bit scrappy at the moment because both sides are losing the ball, and I think Hull will want to hold the ball and play the 6 tackles.
Halfway line. Casey have just come in. Well, there was could have been a little bit scientific obstruction. I'm afraid you don't hear said much these days. Minutes to go to half time. Got to get his passing quickly because he's on this 6th tackle. They seem to be closing shop on this 6th tackle somehow. They don't seem to be getting in that case in point.
Well, I think what's happening, the man's coming in and taking the ball very, very quickly, and what Hull want to do is draw the old Kingston people in and then move it back inside, but Hull are tackling pretty well at the moment.
Yes, they've taken over a little of the ascendancy. 7 points to 3, and there's what a rugby league scrum is. And foraging for it. Forward Newlove. Nice one. There's a chance. Clyde Pickrell. And the penalty against Clyde Pickrell for went into his foot, having a kick, which was unfortunate because they had the ball, the possession.
Well, I think it's a silly penalty, and I don't think Stevie Norton can be very happy about this, because they're making territory into the Hull Kingston half and then doing petty things which are ridiculous.
Well, losing possession there was certainly something, but you wonder why. However, the score is still 7-3, and there's Pickerel, one of the good finds of rugby league football. I believe there's only one Hull lad, actually, talking about Hull FC. Most of the others come from varying places, including Castleford. He's got the pass in and it's well taken. Newell did a good job to just stop that carrying on, but play goes on. Mike Smith. You can see the soccer circle there, ready for the, well, not ready for the cup final, but Pickerel, the referee said no, put it in again. Now that's a good picture of a scrum, and it's Alan Agar ball. 3 minutes to half time. Millward obviously feeling better because he's just trying to show his power in his dodger role. Bunching together Hull Kingston at the moment.
If you're looking at some of the forwards of Hull Kingston, they're just going in ones, and there's no backing up at all. There's three forwards having a smoke here on the halfway.
Well, Phil Lowe. Interception, no. Brian Lockwood. Millward feeds well and supports well, and 5 yards out, 2 yards now. Paul Rose. Hull Kingston Rovers back on the attack, and a rather interesting short one. If he takes it, is all right. If he doesn't, he's in trouble, but he takes it, and it's a penalty. And on Millward there, realising what a chance it was, and the test judges in under the posts, bringing a player. I'm going to report a player. Explaining.
I think what you'll find again is Roger was caught off the ball again, but I don't think he'll change his decision. He's already given one for Clive coming in with a late tackle, but there is a lot of late tackles coming in. I think they'll have to sort it out.
Well, look. A valuable 30-yard effort. Coming there to half-time. With a minute to go. Hull looking much better than they did in the early stages, but they're down 7-3. Chance gone. Chance now for Hull Kingston before half-time with 6 tackles to come. Could get another point or a try. It might near enough might have a drop goal. Who knows? Len Casey, Agar, the ginger head of Old Stock. Somebody filling in the breach there. Lockwood giving a little short inside pass from the back of his hand almost. Phil Lowe. Gonna have a drop. I said I thought he might have a drop, and he does before half time in that position. 1 point is vital at this stage. 8-3, so it's been worth it there to get the goal. So it was well done.
See, this is what he did. This is what you call reading the game. Here it comes, a lovely play, half a dummy, and bang, right in the middle. There's no problem about that. That was a brilliant time to score.
Looking a little bit more cheerful, but still rubbing his jaw. I think, at the end of this season, depending on how it goes today, possibly may decide only where his future is and in what role. We're into injury time, and the score 8-3 to the Robins. And the chairman will be very happy with this score at this point of time. But remember that Hull might have the advantage of the win in the second half. Nice break, Ben Casey. Halfway line. Minutes of injury time gone. I should think Hull will be glad when the half-time whistle goes. Left leg doing its trick. No, not quite. Going out of play, and a restart on the 25-yard line. The players seem to, there's Roger looking still very serious, but the players are they're punching quite a bit.
There's one or two of the players finding it very, very hard, actually.
There's a hooter. Hull Kingston Rovers.
Well, the players are now emerging from the tunnel for the second half of this Rugby League Cup final, Hull versus Hull Kingston Rovers. Half-time score, remember, Rovers in the lead. Not a very considerable one by 8 points to 3. Let's return to Eddie Webb.
And there we are after the interval, by seeing a good march into play by the band of the Coldstream Irish and Welsh Guards, and everything looks all right. No changes, actually, so that means Roger Millward there, looking very serious, and the Hull side, no changes there. Neither team are changing, and it'll be interesting to see the early stage of the tactics, because Hull will have the advantage of the win. They're down 8 points to 3. A try after 9 minutes by Steve Hubbard, and then a goal a minute later, and another goal, making it 7-0. Then Wilby got the solitary try, 7-3, and then Roger Millward a drop goal, making it 8-3. And there he is, Millward in the scrums, 4 for Hull and 3 for Hull Kingston, and the penalties very similar to each other, 8 to Hull Kingston Rovers, 9 Mr. Lindon. And thanks before the game starts for all the messages we've had, and particularly from an 86-year-old man, Arthur Fairbank, who says this is going to be his great day. I don't know who he's following, but we know that it's Hull to kick off. We'll see whether it puts a long one, because it's Sammy Lloyd. He's really called Jeff Lloyd, but he's going to push the ball. That's not a bad kick for distance. And touching the ball, Clive Sullivan. Millward, I believe, has got bleeding inside his mouth, but is obviously intent on seeing this match through, and particularly in the lead that they have at the moment. Brian Lockwood. Crowd have been very, very good, both sections. No trouble at all with new innovation, with the guards round the touchline. Be careful that that third bounce might have troubled him then. Woods, Paul Woods. Radiga. And in a few yards each time. The director of tactics there, and it breaks off strong. 25 yards line. Could be something here for Hull. It's half a dummy, turned inside, but a little bit of bad handling. Ron Wildman playing the ball. Charlie Stone, and and the three of them take him 3 yards back, 25 yards line, across the screen. And that's what they call a knock-on. Kingston Rovers got through, beating Wigan 18-13 in the second round. They beat Cuthbert 28-3, and John Newlove there. Third round beat Warrington 23-11. Semi-final beat Halifax 27. And Hubbard have been a very consistent points getter. Something matter with his mouth, the way he's holding, and it could be. What is going to happen? The score is at this point of time 8-3, and Lloyd going to take the kicker and got the win. But the wind not as strong, Alec.
No, the wind seems to have died down a bit. He's still blowing down the park, but this is a very, very important goal for Sammy Lloyd. He's known as a pressure kicker, and I'm just wondering if they ever need a kick, this is the one they need.
Very true, there's timing and picking, great thing, and this is it. Penalty is 9-9 for the statisticians. Lloyd. Third kick, but nothing to show for it yet. Not his usual mean average. Takes his time. Distance is the problem. Accuracy is. And no cheers. So it's a vital miss, I would think.
Well, I said before the game that this game could be won and lost with goal kickers. Stevie Hubbard and Sammy Lloyd. And Sammy at the moment, who's normally the more reliable kicker, he's just not doing it.
To run, he's going to be sandwiched. Halfway line. Here's Tyndall. Oh, well taken, well sent out to Lloyd and to Birdsall with an overlap. Well, there was a knock on, but a little dangerous there. It could have been in trouble. And there's possibly a little sign of nervous tension about this match, this moment. 8-3. And the Hull Kingston Rovers never won this Challenge Cup. Runners up 3 times, but in the lead at the moment. Clyde Pickerel to feed, number 7. There he is. Millward. And he got out of it. Literally, Dean it there.
That's why they call him the Dodger. That's why.
Yes, 5 minutes gone. Second half. 8 points to 3 for Hull Kingston against the Battle of Hull. Halfway line. This is a lad of many talents, Alan Agar. I think it was in the penalty, but it was a forward pass, obviously. Lindell seems to have the thing fairly under command as referee.
Well, he's a very, very strong referee. He'll stand no nonsense whatsoever. I'm very surprised at the way the both sides are playing, because they're not playing the 6 tackles, and the coach must have told them this at half-time.
No wasting ball, and while they're chatting, Agar is away. There's a little bit of rather slack playing at the moment. And Rovers marching on. Oh, nice, a good pass indeed to Hartley. Hartley's running, he can go, but I can tell you it's no try, because it was a forward pass. Millward to Hartley. And the referee was there, and so we might have a look at that one.
Well, I think this was a split decision. If you watch this, Roger comes through, holds the ball, beats a man beautifully, and Fred Lindop was well placed, and he saw it very well. It must have been a minute decision, that.
Yeah, well, it's 8-3 still, and a try there would have really followed a goal under the post. Would have been a rare situation then. Paul Rose coming on the burst, forwards coming on the burst to make what use they can of possession. The crowd, then Casey, the crowd thinking there was something more than just a noise. Pass it to break here for just stopped. Well, plenty of excitement for the great crowd. Charlie Stone. Just how they can break away from this strong grip that the Rovers are now showing in the 25-yard area. Who's in the kick? Not a long one. David Hall. That's of course the idea. Put it into your opponent's half, then hope to get the ball from the sixth tackle, or alternatively possibly an offence and penalty. Halfway line. Referee's keeping the players well back. Lets the ball behind him. It's the sort of thing that Phil Lowe likes to do, grab and chase, but he missed that one.
Well, I've never seen Phil Lowe drop as many balls. He's dropped 4 balls on the run, he's standing wide, and he's doing exactly what he wants to do, but he's not taking the ball with him.
Yes, I can see the press reports tomorrow. Talent's gone wasted and opportunity's gone.
Well, there's been a bit of doubt about his fitness, and I'm just wondering if that's anything to do with it.
Coming on the field side, onside, there's an overlap. Roller, can he go? The pass is there, he's got support. Ducking down, but plenty of good cover play. Paul Prendeville and Hubbard, but it's attacking, and the referee says no obstruction. They're appealing for obstruction. Hold now on the attack. Sammy Lloyd, 3 yards out, 4 yards out, crowd on the toes. 8 points to 3. Norton, this is where the skipper needs to show his strength. The chance of possession is here to get the pass in. You've got to go out on the wing. Graham Bray. No try. No try. And to this, it put the ball down with a great ease. But let's have a look at this.
This is a very, very good decision. There's a little bit of gamesmanship here. Just watch the man when he catches the ball. The man running now. And that man was Sammy Lloyd.
I think what they call scientific obstruction. That's what he used to be known as.
That's what you call a good class referee in the right position at the right time.
Well, the second half has opened up with a lot of good, hard rugby, but the score remains the same. Hull 3, Kingston Rovers 8. 10 minutes gone. Seem to have gone quickly to me. Rather interesting thinking about what's just happened. 2 very hairline decisions, one at each end, Eric.
Well, one for Hull and one for Hull Kingston, so you can't say the man's been not fair, can you?
No, it's a hard one. They're all looking very serious now, and half an hour to go before this Challenge Cup, sponsored by State Express, and the penalty. One to be taken really quickly, and they lost 10 yards. Somebody chatting. Asking him for a dance or something they comes up to. So the tension now is going to be evident. Everything that happens now is of one either for or against success in possession, and this is 2 points from Sammy Lloyd, who's a tremendous goal kicker. is missed 3. No score this half, still 8-3. The Red Robin section whistling. There's the goalpost. On the left. What is happening? There's a lot of cheers. And the flag is up, and the sailing ships are out with all the wealth and strength that's being required now to stand the hardness of this match. 8-5.
Well, if you notice about Sammy Lloyd then, he took his time a little bit longer, but really what's changing this game is the old supporters. They're really getting behind the old team and waving them on.
Well, they're playing, of course, to the end with all these white banners being flashed around. Well, we're in for a Grand Slam finish, that's for sure. And I'm sure the citizens of Hull who are not here will be glued to their sets with this situation. 8-5 the score. Wildman smashing a little runner for a hooker. 16 tries. And the crowd are really on the toes now. John Newlove. Drop goal margin, of course, 1 point. 6 tackle coming up. Then have a little short one by Woods. Just a little too far. Haven't seen much of Sullivan, Bryce Sullivan.
They say there's a time in the game for a substitution, and I'm just wondering whether Roger will think about replacing Phil Lowe and bringing Millington and Hogan on.
Well, that could well be. They know the sentiment, and anybody on that bench will be glad to jump forward and take over suggestions. Alex said might well happen. We got out of that, the touchline was pretty well open. Wilby. Wilby, scorer of 1 try, Hubbard the other. 15 minutes gone. What is going to happen in this final situation where anything could happen? Taste and smell the excitement that is coming out of the fans here. Didn't give instruction to the opening with a chance. Must get the ball out, trying to go on his own. Will be it, nothing else they could do to close him into the touchline. And the players on £1,000 a man. The strength is becoming a little bit more apparent.
Well, I think what you can see now is people like Stevie Norton and John Newlove, they're letting them move the ball, they're coming more into the game, and therefore Hull are using the ball a lot better and a lot more confidently.
Scrum the 5-5. Alan Agar to feed. And feed up. So that's rather an anticlimax there.
That's what you call again. Alan Agar did very well then. He saw that John Newlove was stood offside, tended to take a tap penalty and didn't. A free kick for it.
Now this is the war cry song called Hold the Faithful, and it warmed the cockles of a lot of Hull fans, and there they are. They call the ships, the sailing, and undoubtedly now it's the net break for whichever team is going to count very much in this match, but 8-5 is the score now. Hull Kingston Rovers 8, Hull 5, and Millwall still on. And Casey. I expect Casey and Rose to come into this match a little more. Brian Lockwood, experience, knows what he's got to do, when to do and how to do it. Lost a little ground there. Hagar. Millwall. Casey's passing. I'll let the ball go, which is possibly near the mark. Good kick. Hagar, good kick indeed.
That was a tremendous little grubber kick from Alan Hagar. He's reading this game beautifully. He knows Roger needs some help and he's his next in command.
Yes, he's a quick little footballer, is Hagar, and he's taking on the role of boss at the moment down there. But still the crowd there with hoping, though of course most of them are Hull fans, hoping that they're going to be at that end when the next move is a penalty. John Newlove getting a number of half breaks but not completing them. But a chance for Paul Woods to make ground. He gets his pass in to Walters. Graham Walters, 12 tries this season. Birdsall, who's going to last out on this one? Well, last but not forward. Charlie Stone. Well, goal lost. Knock on. Well, Woods rightly coming into the game. It's just unfortunately knocked on.
Well, I think at this moment in time, Hull are probably the better side. They're running farther with the ball. And I'm just wondering whether Roger will use these substitutes, because Phil Lowe looks to me as though he's definitely not in this game.
Well, of course he was injured and some doubt even whether he'd be playing. And he's probably feeling the effects of that. Whose ball? The referee says nobody have another scrum. Doesn't like that one. And Piccolo didn't like it either. Well, that's 3 efforts made at that scrum to get the ball out, and it's gone back into the same position. And time is slowly going on. Minutes gone, 20 to go, Hull 5. Hull Kingston Rovers 8. And still the Robins are holding on. Just a margin, a try the margin. And offside, a penalty. Are you still on the thought about substitute? Should do it?
Well, I am really, because Phil Hogan is a very, very expensive buy to be sitting on the bench. £32,000 worth sat on the bench, and a man not playing as well as he should do. I think there must be something wrong with Roger, because he definitely should be thinking about it.
Oh, bit of luck. Well, he's certainly expensive forward, Phil Hogan. I think 30, 35, something like that. And he scored some tries for them, but he's still on the bench. I think it's going to be now the chance that's comes, but the chance that's taken at the right moment, because there's been rather the same position for quite a while, all around the halfway line of penalty. Casey. ball stuck. Well, showing the ball, a dummy, and Phil Lowe appealing for obstruction, and being penalised for the obstruction. Paul Woods to kick. As soon as they get within the 25-yard line area, if they do, then no doubt the Hull fans will help on with their cheering. Halfway line, pin on the burst, is Tyndall going to make 5 yards. If only that, they're going to make progress if they can up the middle. John Newlove getting close to getting a chance, and in the position. Clyde Pickerill, and the fullback's up. Paul Woods. He's staying up. Get off me. Sammy Lloyd and 25 yards line area, and ball possession is going to be very important now.
Well, each scrum is going to come more and more important, but if you notice the change in the game where Knocker-Norton and John Newlove are dictating play more than they have done all the game.
Yes, they're taking it as their job now, but the scrum's hold 7 against 6 for the Rovers. That levels it. There's a 3-2. But a cover come across very well, but it's still going. Graham Walters, very dangerous man in this match, gone near to scoring. The score is 8-5 to Hull KR. Tyndall, the forward, putting the ball out to Birdsell. Pickerill, play on. There's a chance here. Force might get him, but the tackle Tim will be 2 yards out. Stone. Half break, but no try. Forward pass. The Hull Marble cheering into anticipation, but Norton and Tyndall forward pass.
A very good decision by Fred Lindop. He was well up with play, and it was a good yard forward.
The man on the ground, Ron Wildman, being attended to. "15 minutes to go. Just one try the margin. What's going to happen? Well, you're going to see it. And the posse of photographers, about 30 of them on the try line, no doubt running down to the other end, and a penalty. Stone, 2 yards out. That's all. Can be very little more, and the crowd now going to dive in. What's the referee giving? I'm looking at the referee, and it's not a try. It was on his back, said the referee, and Ron Wildman.
I don't think Fred Lindop's going to be Hull's favourite referee at the moment. That's 3 tries. He's a little terrier, this fella. He does it regular, and there he goes again. He's definitely on his back. There's no way he could put the ball down.
But the scrum still to be played. There have been some near misses in this match for a cup final, and still open. Score 8-5 for Kingston Rovers. 3-0, 5-0, 7-0, 7-3, 8-3, 8-5. And the choristers letting it be known they're behind their favourites. Alan Agar, an important man in this match, crawling away from the scrum and trouble on his knees. spread out right across the field. Rovers in possession naturally, staying put, and a valuable 20 yards or so by Lockwood. Roger Millward, dummy half. He knows all the tricks of the road in rugby league football. So does that little fella too, Alan Agar. A good pass, and well taken. Steve Hartley. Both tries for his team. Well, that's a very good play. It's 25 yards line to the halfway line. Takes the pressure off a little bit. Hartley. He decided not to pass. It was a good job he did. Been an interception. But even Clive Sullivan now going up with the others and goes back to his wing. I'd like to make a forecast how this match is going to end.
Well, I think the next score from either side will definitely win this tie. I think what Hull have got to be worried about is if Hull Kingston make a break from 40, 50 yards out, this is when they're most dangerous.
Halfway line, 8-5. Clive Pickerel. Good ball to win. Agar. The Robbins coming back. Millward to Mike Smith. Goes forward, and Casey, well taken, not a forward pass. The referee says Paul Rules has a chance. Brian Lockwood. Nice short pass to Millward. Still going, still showing the ball to his mate Agar. Is he going to have a drop? He's not quite sure, but he's got a nice pass into Big Phil Lowe. This is a chance for Hubbard. Chance for Hubbard. He gives no try. He gives no try because he didn't.
I think this was a very difficult decision to give. I personally think this is a try. If you notice, he's grounded, but his body weight takes him over. He only makes 2 movements over the line.
Certainly one going to argue about for a long time is that one. The score, half an hour gone. Hull 5, Hull Kingston Rovers 8, and it's a tremendous battle, is this. Great credit to both teams, and at this point of time, the fans. We're going to have a sub-change for Hull. Well, there's Vince Farrer. Fast enough to go, Paul Prendeville. The cover's there all the time. Millward is getting back, covering up. Good, strong, effective running. Brian Hancock and Vince Farrow will be the subs when they're allowed on. Vince Farrer on the left and Brian Hancock on the right. Farrer for Stone and Hancock for Newell. I think we've got that right for you. Also that if he kicks this goal, there'll be just one margin. And what a grandstand finish that's going to be, wherever the magnificent Challenge Cup final is won, and on come the players. The subs are on. 6 and 10 go off. Charlie Stone and Newell go off. Lloyd. Everything to say that the wind is not as strong, but that won't worry. Nobody's saying much, so there's no, it's odds on there is not going to get there. The crowd are quiet. 8-5 it remains. That might be the most vital part of this match.
Well, I think Roger Millward has now decided to bring John Millington on, and it wouldn't surprise me if he brought Phil Hogan on as well. This is good thinking from Arthur Bunting. He brought 2 fresh men in when one or two of them were just beginning to tire a little bit.
Millington, John Millington on, and he's on for Rose, Paul Rose, just to get our facts right. That's what it is, and straight to the fullback, Paul Woods, black and white, irregular jerseys, hoops, call them what you want. 8-5. What is going to be the end of this one? Good run, they've got to move the ball about. Well taken, Tim Wilby. Had a good match, Wilby. Seemed to be rather dangerous on a number of occasions. Used to be with Leeds and he got the 1 try. Just what can Vince Farah do? Has there been enough time given for the new men to settle with the...
Well, I think the 2 men who will get right into it, because Vince Farrell obviously will have all the ball, and Brian Hancock will be running off him.
Well, that was not a knock-on, but he did want to take it. David Hall. Oh, good footballer, Alan Agar. Time running out. I thought he was going to give the pass then to Phil Lowe. Touching the ball, the new man, Millington. I mean, his job is to stick to it. Lockwood. Might have been a takeable pass there. Steve Hartley. And on the ground on the far side, Ron Wildman, the hooker. Around 5 minutes to go, plus injury time. And there it is. Now 5, Kingston Rovers 8. So it's going to happen in the last 5 minutes. You're going to see 8-5, margin just of 1 try. Lockwood. The referee is not having any of that at all. He says they'll be all right, let him get them play the ball. But Lockwood is the man. Half a dummy and tackled, I think, Lloyd on Millward. And that was for taking the taking the man without possession, of course.
Well, I think you'll find out again, Sammy Lloyd is the culprit again. He just done a little bit of jersey pulling. He's done it twice now, and it's a terrible thing. This could be the nail in the coffin.
Well, there's not a lot of wind. There is a little sun, but I don't think the distance matters at all. I think it's accuracy, and it's 4 minutes to go. Not a long way, really. 25 yards, put another 5 on or so. So I don't think the distance matters. It's the accuracy. Penalty, the straight one. Is it goal? The flag's going over the back there. 10-5. Hull 5, offside. And the stories to tell in the Sunday paper. There must be millions of stories coming out of this match. 3 minutes to go. Hull 5, Elkingston Rovers 10. A try and a goal, remember, would level the scores. And a replay at Headingley.
Well, I think that last kick of Phil Hubbard's just about won him the Lanstad Trophy, because in my opinion, I think that's what he'll get for it.
Well, he certainly scored all the points apart from Millward's drop goal. And where on the other side, of course, he missed 1 or 2, 2 or 4 in fact. Sammy Lloyd missed. 25 yards line. Now coming into view. Oof, a bone-shattering tackle, that one. And the Rovers fans are singing away. That's going to be a troublesome kick. 2 minutes to go. Paul Prendergast running hard and strong and determined. An unreal grandstand finish this. 10 points to 5. There's a chance if we can get in for the run. Can he take him on? Graham Bray. But the old maestro himself, Clive Sullivan, still a good tackler, still a good footballer. Steve Hubbard on the touch line, and in the 25-yard line, it's Clive Sullivan. He was following the play. I didn't see what happened to him.
I think he just went over on his ankle, actually. He turned quickly, and I think he's just gone over on his ankle. It could be a bad, it might be a break, actually, because he went down clutching his ankle, and it could be pretty serious.
Well, the referee's coming across to see what's what. And they're asking for a stretcher. How much drama can you get in the one cup final we've had today? Suggestion that it is left ankle, but we'll have to see. Well, Hogan's come on the field, but with only a minute to go or so, it's a little late. The whole crowd pretty quiet. The Hull Rovers, of course, now in a great, happy mood with the score 10-5, and Hogan for Hubbard. The clock will have been stopped. The clock stopped when the referee, so we've still not got to the 40-minute mark. We've got the stretcher here, and this is rather a sad injury because the play has been very clean, so all subs are used. So Steve Hubbard, who had such a part in this, got the first try, then a goal, and then another goal, 7-0, and the supporters here applauding him, going round, but 10 points to 5. And I don't know what the time is at this moment, because the referee decide what should go on. On the blind side, man. Clive Sullivan pointing out who to take. Glenn Casey. Any moment this stadium's going to erupt with a red and white galaxy of fans. Roger Millward is talking to the referee. I don't think he will be cheeking him or anything like that. No, Millward is too experienced a campaigner.
Well, is this to do a die effort from Hull? They've got to throw everything in here.
Is this the moment that can be saved? 10-5, remember, a try and a goal. Will Farah go through? everyone on hand going in to help with the tackle. It's almost the last ditch chance for Hull. And there goes the whistle. There goes the whistle. Hull Kingston Rovers, who have never won the cup, runners up 3-time, win 10 points to 5.
I think the little man has finally done it. He thoroughly deserves it. He took a terrible knock early on, and who will begrudge him this win?
Yeah, good little sport.
Well, extraordinary. Here is Steve Hubbard, the hero of the day. He's just come trembling down. If we can widen our shot just a little, we'll see that he's on his stretcher. How are you? What's the matter with your leg?
Well, I thought, at first it was broken, but it's starting to feel a lot easier. And I just want to get up there with the lads.
Well, you're going to get some crutches, are you?
Somebody will lend me some crutches and I'll be straight up there.
Well, what about the try? I mean, you had a great day. 9 of the 10 points.
Yes, thoroughly enjoyed it. I knew it was going to be my day as soon as, that move came off. It was just fantastic, unbelievable.
Well, Steve, we won't delay you any longer. Get your crutches and go up there and get your medal. Yeah. Bye-bye now. Eddie.
Well, it's drama, and still drama. And there's the little man, Arthur Bunting, himself a pretty good scrum half. He'll be in tears, I imagine. No, it's a little Keith Epworth there.
I think that was a great gesture, Eddie, coming from Keith Epworth. Two good scrum halves.
Well, the final I've seen, umpteen finals here at Wembley, but this is one that was talked about in many ways. Chances missed, chances taken, but sporting spirit by both of them. A great credit to Hull, for both teams from Hull, but being sporting to wish their defeat and the success is just the same. And Millward and Sullivan, who knows when they'll give up playing, we don't know. But there's Millward and Clive Sullivan, the two players I've been talking about. And Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, I hope she's enjoyed it. She looks as if she's had, and she's having a word for him. To Roger, that is. He's trying not to let his emotions show, and that's a rare moment for him, a little smile on. And the Queen Mother's really been tremendous here with this. First played for in 1897, the trophy of all trophies. Clive Sullivan, happy lad. John Millington, just behind is David Watkinson, showing David Hull. Well, there's Hubbard, Steve Hubbard, walking along with the physio. David Hall, Steve Hartley, Mike Smith, Brian Lockwood, the campaigner, and a lot of their mates in Australia. Well, Vicar Bickfield, though, was doubtful a week ago, and here he is. First time ever. Roy Holstock, Len Casey, Charlie Watson, the chairman of Hull, and there he's going of Steve Hubbard. He's going up the stairs. He's going, the man who got the first try and then kicked 2 goals, who was worried about an ankle, it seemed to be, but he goes up to receive his award, and who wouldn't miss a moment like this? If he crawled upon his hands and knees, he'd do it. With our royal guest, and he's I don't know whether he's going to make it any further, but he'll go. Number 2, Graham Bray. team, but can get a smile. Charlie Birdsall, Ron Wildman, Clyde Pickerel, young lad, plenty of time to win a medal. And a nice affectionate touch there, Vince Parra and Paul Woods. And at the end of the queue comes, look, the concern. It's worth it all, he says. Well, lovely scenes, lovely moments, and a credit to both teams. And Roger riding high, Steve Hartley, and Phil Hogan. I don't think Phil Hogan actually touched the ball, did he, Alex? He didn't.
No, I don't think he did, but I don't think it matters now. But I'll tell you, Old Kingston and Hull have done credit to Rugby League, and I think it's a credit to Hull.
Yes, no doubt about that. Will go down in the annals. Len Casey, number 13, and they've gone. Hagar. Roger Millward. One of his rare moments, thumbs up.
Kingston Rovers have won the Rugby League Challenge.
Teams go on, the triumphs and the, I won't say failures, but happy man here. And Steve Hubbard, we don't know what his injury is, but at least he's going to have his moment of glory, just as the others have. And they're now at the corner of the stadium where the lot of the Hull Kingston Rovers fans, and the Lance Todd Trophy Award had been given to Brian Lockwood. Moments that by and large will never be repeated, so it's right that they get the most out of Brian Lockwood, the holding the cup in the middle there, 31 time calling him a veteran. Steve Hartley. And the flags are flying. Points to 5 in this final. There'll be so much written, spoken about it, but it will be one that will certainly be talked about, not only in Hull, but in many other parts of this rugby league world. And that's Millward's marbles. Well, that is so. The winners get £12,555, and the players will be on at about £1,000 each. In the olden days it was set £3 for the winners and £2 for the losers. The progress of rugby league with at the end being occupied by Hull Kingston Rovers fans. There they are. A final that has had many moments that probably will never be repeated, and a wonderful presentation. And we hope to get somebody down there eventually for look at them. Little customer there. He's going to smile, showing us it. Thank you very much. That's nice to see him. Spring back to life. Roger, the Dodger, who couldn't get a place in Castleford because of great half-backs of the Ardesty mould and others, but he went to Hull, and what a career he had there.
the track. I've got Brian Lockwood with me, who's won the Lance Todd Trophy for the man of the match. Well pleased, eh?
Oh, excellent.
How did your match go, do you reckon?
I thought we won it the first half. We got on top of them in the first half, and we had a lot of pressure to stand just after half-time, and I thought we sustained that well. I thought as soon as we got over that, I thought the game's up, under his belt.
What about the start? You made a splendid start, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I thought it was great. We went out there just to hold them for the first 20 minutes, but they were the opposite. They had to hold us for the first 20 minutes.
Well, fine. We've got Steve Hubbard in again. Steve, will you come in? How's your... Having seen you horizontal, we must see you vertical now. Well, it was a long struggle up those steps.
It was well worth it, Frank.
Well worth it?
Well worth it, yeah.
And you made it without crutches?
I made it without crutches, yeah. That's the way to do it.
Well, let's have a slide. We're going to show you your try in a minute. I'm sure you'd like to see that, wouldn't you?
Lovely, yeah.
Here we are. Come on, let's...
well, I mean, it was a move that we'd worked, just out at Windsor at the training ground, and everything just happened. A huge gap just appeared. I couldn't believe me luck. There's some fast lads there. I thought they'd have had me. They just seemed to lay off.
You knew you were going there, didn't you?
When I see the line like that, that's all I want to know is to get over it.
What happened then? Because you had a bit of a thump at that moment, didn't you?
Somebody followed through and cracked me on the top of the nose, and that's all I can remember.
Well, now then, you scored 9 out of the 10 points, so a slight celebration tonight, I've no doubt.
Hopefully, yeah. I just want to get this scene, so get it in a bucket of ice and keep my fingers crossed.
Lovely. Which leg is it? Your left leg?
My left leg, yeah.
What do you think you've done?
Well, I think as I went in to tackle somebody, I stood on somebody's ankle and went over on it.
Well, now we've got the captain. Hey, well done. Terrific match, and I hope your leg's fine. I'm sure he won't... how are you? Many congratulations. Lovely. Well, here's Roger Millward. Can we face you around and look at the camera? It's you they want to see, not me. Now, listen, how are you? Because I suspect you spent most of that match in a daze, didn't you?
Yes, I did, Frank. I think I might have knocked the jaw again.
Really? You've done that before, haven't you?
I went two broken jaws this year, yes. And I think I might have just made it an hat-trick.
Yeah. Well, you've had a terrific day and a fine match. A final word from you. What are you going to do now?
I think I might go and get drunk, Frank. I think we deserved it.
You think you'll be able to force a bit between the lips, do you?
And get them strong. Thanks very much, Frank.
Lovely. Well, here we are, a crowd of celebrating Hull Kingston Rovers players who won the Rugby League Challenge Cup today. Our congratulations to Hull. The celebrating supporters, as you can see, are all around me. One or two disconsolate ones from Hull. But never mind, I'm sure they'll all put their heads together tonight and have a jolly good time. And of course, to Liverpool, well, what can you say about Liverpool? Another marvellous championships. The toast is Liverpool and Hull Kingston Rovers. Goodbye now.